kò ti tó ètò kan. Best of traditional wedding. Gbogbo lólùfẹ́ rẹ̀ mú retí rẹ̀. Best of traditional wedding. Ẹ̀bùn lóríṣiríṣi méjèèjì ṣèwé. Best of traditional wedding. Kí lorúkọ ètò náà? Best of traditional wedding. Ètò ìgbéyàwó tó tọ́ ní lọ́gbọ́n. Best of traditional wedding. Ètò lẹ́fọ̀ traditional wedding tó lọ lọ́wọ́.
Káwọn níbẹ̀.
Kí lorúkọ ètò náà? Best of traditional wedding. Ètò ìgbéyàwó tó ń kọ́ ní lọ́gbọ́n. Best of traditional wedding. Every Tuesday on Instagram. Every Tuesday on Facebook. 6 p.m. UK time. Every Tuesday on Facebook. Ètò ìgbéyàwó tó fún mi lóye. Best of traditional wedding. Ètò ìgbéyàwó tó fún mi lóye. Best of
Traditional weddings. Ẹ káàbọ̀ sórí ètò yìí. Ẹ̀yin tèmi nílé lóko lẹ́yìn òde. Mo kára lé, mo kérò ọ̀nà, mo kọ́kùnrin, mo kóbìnrin, mo kọ́mọdé. Bẹ́ẹ̀ ni mo kí àgbàlagbà wípé ẹ káàbọ̀ sórí ètò yìí, ètò wa, ètò yìí, ètò kan náà tí gbogbo wa mọ̀ sí ètò ìgbéyàwó. Let's talk traditional weddings and more. Àwọn gẹ́gẹ́ bí ìṣe wa lórí ètò yìí, kó tó di pé aṣọ nǹkan a fẹ́ ṣèbá kọ́dá ayé, ọba ṣẹ̀dá ọ̀run, ọba lánàá, ọba lẹ́ni, ọba títí ayérayé kọrin kése, ẹlẹ́bùrú ìkẹ́, ọba tó ń pani mọ́, ọba tó kọ̀ tí ò pani tó ṣe pé pamọ́ ló ń pani mọ́. Olúwa adúpẹ́ aláyọ̀ àyìn lógo nítorí wípé níwòye ọjọ́ ìjẹjọ adágbére á ní à ń lọ kábọ̀. Èèyàn Ọlọ́run alààyè ẹ jẹ́ kó ṣeéṣe fún wa láti tún lọ láyọ̀ àtàlàáfíà, láti dé láyọ̀ àtàlàáfíà lénìí. Odúpẹ́ Olúwa ẹ gbọ́ pẹ́kẹ́ gba ẹ̀yìn wa. Ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ òjò ló wà tí rọ̀ tílẹ̀ ti fi mọ̀, kì í ṣe nípa ipá, bẹ́ẹ̀ ni kì í ṣe nípa agbára. Ó wù yín nínú ọlá ńlá yín, ó lè jẹ́ kó ṣeéṣe fún wa láti tún rọ́jọ́ òní láyọ̀ àtàlàáfíà. Olúwa ẹ gbọ́ pẹ́kẹ́ gba ẹ̀yìn wa. Mo tún fẹ́ fàsìkò yìí náà dúpẹ́ lọ gbogbo àwọn èèyàn jàpàjàpà tí wọ́n ti darapọ̀ mọ́ wa lórí ètò yìí. Arábìnrin Bukilicious Entertainment ẹ ṣeun, ẹ kú gbogbo gbà first ògbórí wọlé. Gbogbo àwọn tó wà lórí ẹ̀rọ ayélujára Facebook àti Instagram ẹ ṣeun adúpẹ́ tẹ́ ti darapọ̀ mọ́ wa. Ẹ jọ̀ọ́ gẹ́gẹ́ bí mo ṣe máa ń sọ ní ọ̀sẹ̀ọ̀sẹ̀, ẹ bá wa fi ètò yìí ránṣẹ́ sí gbogbo èèyàn wípé ètò ìgbéyàwó ti bẹ̀rẹ̀. Mo tún fẹ́ fi àsìkò yìí náà, mo tún fẹ́ dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ gbogbo àwọn tí wọ́n ń ṣagbátẹrù ètò yìí o. Iléeṣẹ́ Chorus Dress and Laces, iléeṣẹ́ tó tún gbangba sùn lọ́yẹ́ níbi tó ti ń taṣọ ìyàwó, tìyá ìyàwó lẹ́fẹ́ ni ti bàbá ìyàwó ni, aṣọ ọmọdé lẹ́fẹ́ tàgbà tó fẹ́ fi ṣayẹyẹ ni o. Ohunkóhun tí ẹ bá fẹ́ fi aṣọ ṣe àbí ẹ̀gbà ọwọ́ lẹ́fẹ́ ni, iyùn ọrùn ni, kò sí ohun tó fẹ́ fi ṣayẹyẹ tí ẹ ò ní rí ní iléeṣẹ́ wọn. Iléeṣẹ́ Chorus Dress and Laces ẹ ṣeun ẹ kú gbogbo gbà. Iléeṣẹ́ yóò ní jóná, owó yẹn á máa ròkè. Iléeṣẹ́ Celebration International Magazine àdúpẹ́dúpẹ́. Iléeṣẹ́ Lizelle Fabrics all the way from Dallas, Texas ẹ ṣeun, ẹ kú gbogbo gbà. Àrọ́wọ́ yín ẹ ṣe gan ni. Mo tún wá fẹ́ pàtàkì dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ iléeṣẹ́ First Rate Global ẹ ṣeun ẹ ṣe, ẹ kú gbogbo gbà, ẹ kú àdúró tì wá. Gẹ́gẹ́ bí ìṣe wa lórí ètò yìí, mo tún fẹ́ dúpẹ́ lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí lọ́wọ́ àwọn èèyàn wa. Olúwabùnmi ni mò ń jẹ́, aya Òṣìbẹ̀rù tí gbogbo ayé mọ̀ sí Bùnmi Meet the Royals, alága ìdúró, alága ìjókòó, makeup artist, gèlè artist, event planner with godly swagger. Ẹ ṣeun ìyàwó bàbá, ẹ ṣeun, ẹ kú gbogbo ìgbà. Ẹ jọ̀ọ́ ẹ bá wa fètò yìí ránṣẹ́, ẹ bá wa fi ránṣẹ́ o. Ẹ̀yin tẹ́ wà lórí ẹ̀rọ Facebook, ẹ má bínú pé àdárúkọ tí ẹ ò bá fi ohùn sílẹ̀ tí olóyìnbó ń pè ní comment, àní mọ ẹni tó aṣáàmọ̀ pé àwọn èèyàn wà lórí Facebook, àní mẹni tó jẹ́. Ẹ ṣeun gbogbo ẹni tó wà lórí His Trophy of Grace lórí YouTube, ẹ ṣeun, thank you so much. Thank you for your custom, thank you for being there for us at all time. Lénìí láì dènà pé mi láì fi àkókò ṣòfò ní kíákíá, a fẹ́ tara ṣàṣà láti kọ́kọ́ fi fọ́nrán kan hàn wá, fọ́nrán tí a ti fi hàn wá nígbà kan rí nípa nǹkan kan míì tí elóòtú ètò ìgbéyàwó tún ń ṣe tí a pè ní Rẹ́mọ Parapọ̀ medley. Ó mà ti dé tán. Ẹ jọ̀ọ́ on the 1st of April ẹ bá wa subscribe sí Rẹ́mọ Parapọ̀. A ti fẹ́ gbé àwòrán orin tí ẹ ti ń gbọ́ tó ń dùn mọ́ wa látijọ́ ọjọ́ yìí tí gbogbo wa ń gbádùn. Àwòrán ẹ̀ máa jáde tí olóyìnbó ń pè ní video, musical video ní on the 1st of April. Please, if you have not subscribed to our YouTube channel on Rẹ́mọ Parapọ̀, please do so. Ẹ ká fún wa ní sample kékeré orin Rẹ́mọ Parapọ̀, Rẹ́mọ Parapọ̀ òun la pè. I'm bringing it to us. Please, if you have not subscribed, kindly do so. We will really appreciate it because Joe, a lot of efforts to bring that on board. God bless you.
Shout out in-depth, concise, and detailed knowledge of music and history like people in Igbo. One and two. Remo Paraco Medley 1 and 2. Melodious indigenous Remo music compiled and presented by Bumi Oshibero with the Royals, Fadekeni Adeyemi, Joyful Noise, and Bosse Ogubiyi and the Mega Plus. I wanted to call it educating and solid melodies. Only to sort Adayeba Ogolokwadra àti Ìwúre Bàbá Báyẹ̀mí àlùjọ tó fi gbọ́pọ̀ fún ìgbádùn tọmọdé tàgbà ní gbogbo ibi ayẹyẹ ìgbà. Coming out on the 1st of April 2023 on Turkey News ọdún 2023. Ọdún ìgbẹ́gbọ́dọ̀ ẹ̀kan sára fídíò rẹ̀ ó ti jáde lórí YouTube àti gbogbo gbàgede ayélujára Remo Paraco Medley 1 and 2. Eléyìí yàtọ̀ kọjá bẹ́ẹ̀.
You don't want to miss that, honestly. If you're yet to subscribe to our YouTube channel, please do so. Remo Paraco. That music is awesome. No, from the beginning to the end. Thank you so much, everybody. Let us see a lot of people normally they will say they forgot. Please, we don't want anybody to claim that they forgot this time around. If you're on this show and you know some people that would normally be here, please remind them. I noticed that a lot of people watch later nowadays because of the but still remind people. Thank you, Fabulous Funky, for joining us. Okay, ẹ jẹ́ kí ó tó di pé a gbé àkórí ètò tèmi wọlé, ẹ jẹ́ kí a fi orin a máa fi ń gbé àkórí ètò wa wọlé. Let's just do that, you know, because it's so important that we get that out of the way. Okay, it's just going to be one short clip and then we will move on to today's topic by the grace of God.
Ọ̀rọ̀ ọkọ pẹ̀lú ìyàwó ojú Olúwa ló lè tó.
Ẹ jọ̀ọ́ ṣé ń gbọ́ mi o. Wait then.
Ọ̀rọ̀ ọkọ pẹ̀lú ìyàwó
ojú Olúwa ló lè tó. Thank you so much, Fabulous Funky. Thank you for those that tell us that are sure that they can hear the music. Hey, gbogbo aláwọ̀ pọ́dọ̀ ọkọ àti ìyàwó la máa ń sọ lórí ètò yìí o. Hey, hey,
ọ̀rọ̀ ọkọ pẹ̀lú ìyàwó
ojú Olúwa ló lè tó. Come on, show your dance moves, guys. Who like my gilly? I'm trying not to waste too much time on the music, but just wait for a few more minutes and then we'll go to the next thing. Because we have a lot to talk about this evening. Hey, come on, Rebels and Coco, thank you for joining. Hey, thank you, sis. Aria Susan, thank you so much. Thank you for passing by, for stopping by. Ready to wear by Father, thank you very much. Thank you so much for always being here. Thank you for joining us, man. In fact, if I keep my play orin yìí lọ, Oh my pé, I was hoping I'm able to forward it to, there's a particular place where it says, ẹ má má bá mi léyàwó mi lọ. Ẹ má má bá mi léyàwó mi lọ. Ọ̀tọ̀ lẹ́jọ́ tí a rò, ọ̀tọ̀ lẹ́jọ́ tí ẹ dá. Ẹ má má bá mi léyàwó mi lọ. Ladies and gentlemen, what are we talking about tonight? Please tell people that the show has started. Àwọn pé ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ nínú wa a lè máa wò pé kí nìkan gan tá fẹ́ sọ lálẹ́. What are we talking about tonight? Listen to that music. Wọ́n ní pé ọ̀rọ̀ ọkọ àti ìyàwó ojú Olúwa ló lè tó. But you know, as it is in Africa, especially in the African setting, nílẹ̀ Yorùbá, pàápàá jùlọ nílẹ̀ Yorùbá, nílẹ̀ Káàárọ̀ Oòjíire, we realize that it is not just one man that is marrying a woman, and it's not just the woman that is marrying the man. It takes a whole community ló máa ń fẹ́ ọkọ ló dẹ̀ máa ń fẹ́ ìyàwó, unlike òyìnbó, you know, àṣà wa ni, ìṣe wa ni. But kí la fẹ́ sọ lálẹ́? A fẹ́ sọ nípa pé ṣó lẹ́tọ̀ọ́ àbí ọ̀nà wo ló lẹ́tọ̀ọ́, ọ̀nà wo ni kò lẹ́tọ̀ọ́ fún lọ́kọláya láti máa bára wọn wí lójú ẹbí àbí lójú ará. You know, is that a right or wrong way for couples to rebuke or to correct themselves in front of family members? Now, wọ́n láti kọ́kọ́ bẹ̀rẹ̀ náà. Ṣó lẹ́tọ̀ọ́ kí lọ́kọláya kí wọ́n máa bára wọn wí lójú ẹbí? Let us first of all respond to that. Is it okay? Is it proper for couples to say, oh, my family members are here, whether I've done something wrong in front of the family, maybe the offense is towards the family, or the offense is even between both of us. Is it okay? Is it proper for us to rebuke each other in front of each other? I know a lot of people normally join late, and sometimes they bring us back. They want to say, we're just coming in from work. But those of us that are on this show, the first question that I've asked tonight is it proper? Tell of or discipline or rebuke each other in front of family members. Okay, ìyàwó mi ṣẹ̀ mí, àwọn ẹbí mi àbóṣe àwọn ẹbí mi, àbóṣe kọ́kọ́ fẹ́ gbọ́n mi, àbóṣe kọ́kọ́ fún ìyàwó mi, àbí wọ́n ti ẹ̀fẹ́jọ́ sùn mí ni. Ṣé ó yẹ lẹ́sẹ̀kẹsẹ̀ ń bẹ̀ kí n bá ọkọ mi wípé ó ṣe máa ṣe lórúkọ bẹ́ẹ̀ yẹn, or I should tell them off, or I should just talk to them, or let the family know that so that they will know that I don't tolerate nonsense from my wife, and they, you know, I don't know. How do we go about it? Please remember that you can call us on +44 7828 500938. And go wá lórí ẹ̀rọ YouTube, wọ́n dá wa lóhùn, wọ́n ní ó tilẹ̀ ti ro okay, ọ̀tọ̀ lẹ́jọ́ tí a rò, ọ̀tọ̀ lẹ́jọ́ tí ẹ dá. Thank you, ma. Sometimes I think that what this person is trying to tell us is nígbà míì ẹjọ́ tẹ́ rò kọ́ ni àwọn èèyàn máa dá. Now, let's first of all answer that question. Ṣó tiẹ̀ lẹ́tọ̀ọ́ ká máa bára wa wí lójú ara ilé? Is it okay for us to rebuke each other in front of family members? Whether it is for the offense is towards each other, or the offense is how do I put it? Or the offense is towards family members. Please don't forget, you can call us on +44 7828 500938 +44 7828 500938. I know there are people on this show. What's your own take? What do you think? Ṣó lẹ́tọ̀ọ́ kí lọ́kọláya kí wọ́n máa bára wọn? Let's answer yes or no first of all before we even move on to ẹ̀kọ́ ní pé no, wọ́n tẹ̀ fi ó tó pọ̀ sẹ́yìn no yẹn lórí It's Trophy of Grace lórí YouTube. Wọ́n ní no. Ó dà, kí ni ìdí tí a fi lérò wípé kò yẹ kí a máa bára wa wí lójú ẹbí àbí lójú ará? My husband has done something I don't like, or my husband has done something to my mother or to my father or to members of my family, especially those that are older than me. And I'm like, because I don't want my family to think that I'm weak, I decided not to say anything, or I decided to confront my wife or husband in front of my family members. Fabulous thinking. Thank you so much for your response. When you not in front of the third party, you can inform the third party. You can inform the third party not to worry. My spouse and I will discuss it when we get home. Oda, ẹ jẹ́ ká gbé ìpè tó wọlé. Ó ṣe kókó ká gbé àwọn ìpè. Thank you, Fabulous Finky, for that contribution. Hello. 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 Ẹ kúrò lẹ́ máa káàbọ̀ sí ètò yìí. Ẹ ṣeun mà.
Ọjọ́ mẹ́ta.
Ó ga, ẹ jẹ́ wá dárúkọ yín àti ibi tẹ́ ti ń pè wá mà. Oh, nice to have you on the show, ma. God bless you, ma. Ẹ ṣeun, ma. Ẹ ṣeun.
Ṣó lẹ́tọ̀ọ́ láti bára wa wí ní ìṣojú family lẹ́tọ̀ọ́. Nítorí pé nígbà tá a bá parí ẹ̀ nínú yàrá, family ò sí. So àwọn sì lè hold on sí gbogbo nǹkan tá a sọ ní ìṣojú wọn. Níwà kí ara ti mú bọ̀n àti parí ẹ̀. So kò lẹ́tọ̀ọ́.
So, Ejoma, mo fọwọ́ àtọmọdé yín lẹ́nu. Please, ma, can you, because I know it's a couple of people on this show that doesn't understand Yoruba. Please help us. No, what we are talking about, is it okay for you to rebuke your spouse in front of family members, whether the offense is towards each other or towards family member? There's someone on the call that is trying to tell us what she thinks about it. So over to you, ma'am.
Oh, okay.
Yes, ma'am.
No, it is not appropriate to either chastise or tell each other off in front of a third party, especially family members. Because we can forget, sometimes they won't forget, and then bring it back. And then it could be the wife, and then you see how they respond to the husband. You'll be thinking, in fact, nobody she will include So the family or then feels that they have, right, big house, the spouse, be it the wife or the husband. So it's not in my, depending on what the matter is.
Okay.
But then, majority of the cases, all these making things, it is not appropriate to tell the third party what the matter is. They sort it out behind closed doors.
Okay, ma. Thank you, ma. Please don't go away, ma. I was going to ask you one question. What about if the offense is towards the family member? For example, if the offense is towards my parents or the offense is towards my siblings, what do I do?
Yeah, I would apologize to them and say to them that can I come back to them on the matter? Rather than to start adding fuel to it. Because there are two sides to a story. And the spouse might not want to say anything in front of them and feeling, she's so far, what have I done that warrants this? So it is best, to get the opinion of the spouse behind closed doors. And then if we need to reconvey, we reconvey. Imagine, and I'm sorry, you feel that way, but mom or dad, can I come back to you on it? That is take.
Thank you so much, ma. I really appreciate your contribution. That's a very powerful contribution. God bless you, ma. Thank you, ma. Thank you, ma. For those of us that just joined on this show, I cite you, Alaja Sumbo, one and only. Thank you. For those of us on Facebook, thank you so much for joining us. Please, if you're just joining us and you're wondering what we're talking about tonight, we're talking about whether or not it's okay to rebuke one's spouse in front of family and friends. A caller just called right now, and then she was saying that it is totally wrong to rebuke each other in front of spouses in front of family members, because when it is over between both of you, it's not going to be over with the family members and friends. And I was asking the caller, I said, what about if the offense is towards my family? For example, if my husband has done something wrong to my parents, for example, or my siblings or someone that is close to me in front right there, should I just let it go? Or if I'm the man, should I just let it go? And then the caller said that we could apologize and then speak to the spouse later to find out their own side of the story, that whatever judgment we do at that time may not be the right judgment, which I think is very great. Thank you so much, ma. Thank you so much, ma. So if you're on this show and you want to partake on this very important topic, because I won't lie to you, a lot of little things that we don't take seriously, they ruin homes, they ruin marriages. I don't know how you will feel about it. And then we have to know that relationship between ourselves and our family members, our spouses and our family members, they are both important to us. One is not less important than the other. That's me, So how do we go about it? How do we balance it? Now, let me play this clip. For us. Somebody also said, coming from another married woman here, Fabulous Funky, she said, not in front of third party. You can inform the third party not to worry, but my spouse and I will discuss this and when we get home and get back to you. So just it's very similar to what caller Mrs. Oluwade said. Now, let me play this clip for us. There's a clip that somebody said, sent. I'm also going to read that. I'm going to play that clip.
Defend your spouse before your in-laws. Rebuke and correct in private. Defend, protect them before your in-laws. But in your privacy, rebuke and correct. If you give the cane to your in-laws to discipline your wife, there is no mercy and there is no stopping. It will be a continuous cane because they will remember 5 years ago. Even you know. Defend. See, you really need to protect this union. He said, let no man put you asunder. Defend your spouse.
Now, let's talk about this clip. Now, you know there's a difference between me rebuking my spouse in front of people and me actually defending my spouse. Let's talk about the defending part of it. Okay, somebody has just called me, maybe a family member, whether I witnessed it or I didn't witness it, maybe it has happened before I got there, and they just called me and said, can you see what your wife just did? Can you see what your husband just did? Your husband did this, your wife did it. This person here is actually saying that we should defend them. Defend your spouse in front of family members, especially in-laws. Now, let's talk about the defend part of it. Please, ladies and gentlemen, don't be quiet on me. You can leave your message on. I will read it out. What do you think about defending your spouse? Because as far as this person is concerned, she believes that, no, it's not just about not telling them off alone. It's also about defending them. So when we say defend, what do we mean? What's the meaning of defend? How do I defend my spouse? Especially men. You know, we women, when our husband do stuff, it's still a little bit, I don't know, in the Yoruba tradition. But when it is the woman that does something that is not so good, how do you defend your spouse or your wife without necessarily making your family members feel like, what is the name they call men that normally defend their wives in front of everybody? I want to hear from you. They call them a particular name. Once you start saying, you start defending your wife, or you start saying, no, my wife is not somebody like that. Please don't talk to her like that and blah blah. As a man, they have a name that they give to them in Yoruba land. They'll just give you a nickname. You know, they will say, somebody said Okochokoto. Somebody said they call them Okochokoto. I'm hearing that for the first time actually. So they call them Okochokoto. Please, what are the names they will call someone like that? Then the issue of defend. How? What about when you know and you're 100% sure that your spouse has actually done something wrong? There's a difference between when they kind of, accuse them wrongly, give them a wrong accusation, or somebody said Beudani. How do you say that in English? Somebody help me to interpret Beudani. Somebody said Beudani. So men sometimes they find themselves in this very tight corner between them, their families, and their wives. The wife is looking like somebody's a woman rapper, the wife is wondering, hey honey, are you gonna watch them just tear me apart into pieces? Are you not gonna say something? So, and the man is like, okay, I don't want to watch them tear you. What's it for? Yeah, they'll say you're eating vegetable. I don't want to watch them tear you into pieces. But at the same time, I don't want it to look like, this one is Beudani. We've called them all different names. Okuchokoto. We've called them what's it for? They will say, hey, man, sorry, where should you? This one, if you say anything about his wife like this, he will not allow you to talk. He will be defending the woman. They've said a lot of names. Olatide, okay, Olatide. Okay, Oyedele, thank you for joining. Chemostic. Chemostic is here, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining, sis. Before you join, guys that just joining, what we are talking about is there a right or wrong way to correct your spouse in front of family? Is it even okay? Is it even appropriate to rebuke or to correct or to tell your spouse off in front of family members? And then people have called, people have said, well, it's not right, it's not supposed to do so, and blah blah. And I've asked the question, what about if your wife is honestly wrong? For example, maybe my mom, she's talking to my mom, or talking to my elder brother, or she's done something that is really really ridiculous to my family member. Am I not allowed to let her know? But no, you don't do that. Am I supposed to leave it till later? Somebody said no, you leave it till you apologize, and then you leave it till later, and then you correct. But let's be more sincere here. It's easier said than done, especially when it comes to men. Now, I threw the question open. Any man that stand up for his wife in front of family members, there are so many names. Good evening, says. Good evening, Chemostic. Only good evening, everyone. Thank you so much, ma. How does a man handle that area where you kind of looking for the right word, balance it up? Hey, somebody said we are back. Thank you so much. She said looking classy. Thank you so much. So how do we do it, ladies and gentlemen? What would you have done if you're in this? Unfortunately, you know why it really hurts me is that whenever we have shows like this, we have women. I know men that watch this show after. Some men give me feedback. A lot of people actually watch this show after. They call me. They'll say, my episode last week here, really were interesting. What do we want? So a lot of people watch this after, and they kind of give me feedback as well. Now, before everybody came in, we played a clip. Let me play that clip very quickly again. I'll send the clip out. That so let's play.
Defend your spouse before your in-laws. Rebuke and correct in private. Defend, protect them before your in-laws. But in your privacy, rebuke and correct. If you give the cane to your in-laws to discipline your wife, there is no mercy and there is no stopping. It will be a continuous cane, because they will remember 5 years ago. Even you know. Defend. See, you really need to protect this union. He said, "Let no man put you asunder." Defend your spouse.
Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you. Yahoo Baba said, if it is me, I will use style to put up a strong face and say, my dear, let me see you outside. I think that's another way that you can do it. You just excuse the person away from that vicinity. Now, this lady here that was talking here said, defend. So there's a difference between you not telling off your spouse in front of people. Fine, I'm not telling you off. You've done something to my parents, or done something to my sister, or somebody in front of everybody. I am not telling you off. But this person is actually saying we should defend. Defend. Hey Joe, how do you defend when you know quite all right that this person has done something wrong? That's another thing. Or whether you are there or you're not there, maybe they reported the person to you. How do you do it? How do you defend your spouse without them calling you names? Thank you so much for joining, says Orukasidawo by Susie. As we've said earlier, especially the men, sometimes they find it very difficult. They are in a very tight corner. The wife is crying. Babes, you mean in front of your people you see them doing all sorts of things to me? They are telling me off. They are doing all of things. You didn't do nothing. You're just staring at me. And the family member are saying, Oti Igbeyawo, Oti Jeffo, Oti Jack this. How do you handle that? It could happen to a woman as well. Like the woman said, do not give the cane to discipline your spouse to family members. They will do it with no mercy. Fine, you're not giving them the cane to discipline her for you, but this woman is also saying you should defend her. Please, ladies and gentlemen, don't let us be quiet on me this afternoon. I want to hear from you, because I always say every week that I don't come here to come and teach us how to run our homes, as I don't have a perfect home myself. And I'm not a marriage counselor. I'm not an expert in this. Or say, tell me about what's by me, no one come more money. But the thing is, not so please, people, don't be quiet on me. You remember that you can call me on this show as well. The line is open, +447828500938. When I send this clip out, some people sent me some messages. Let me read what some people sent me. I think about a few people. I got a message from a few people. Let me read what this woman sent me. There's a particular woman that said something. I can still find out. Yes. She sent this. So, Oh yes, she said, let me read what she said. She said, there is no limit to defending one's to defending one's spouse. But when you defend and defend to the detriment of your holistic being, and there's no hope of him changing for the better, it is better that you have a second thought about defending him. While I do not advocate for his exposure, the wife can begin to remain neutral and not take sides at all. I'm not sure. Did anybody hear that? This was sent to me by one of the people when I sent this topic out. The person said I won't be available for the show, but let me send my thoughts. So this person said there is no limit to defending one's spouse. She said, but when you defend and defend to the detriment of your holistic being, and there is no hope of him or her changing for the better, it is better that you have a second thought about defending them. While I do not advocate for his exposure, the wife can begin to remain neutral and not take sides at all. That's another thing that somebody said. So what's your take on that? Maybe this person is a perpetual offender. He's always doing stuff, and you're always standing up for them. Maybe that's what that person, I believe that's what that person is trying to say. So now let's have a conversation about, what about a spouse that is a perpetual offender? Not even to you, to family members, or with other things, in terms of other things. This person said you could defend, and at one point you yourself will become like, I don't know what to do again. Maybe you know that this person is a very perpetual offender. How do you cover that part? Because some of these things are easier said than done. Do not say it in public, please. People, talk. Let's hear what you're saying. Everybody's quiet this evening. I think most of us are at work anyway, so I understand that if you cannot talk, so we can type whatever you say. What do you do in a situation where the spouse is very, very maybe is a perpetual offender, or no matter what, there will always be one thing or the other to say about this person? Most people that I send this video clip to, they replied and said this person has said the right thing. But this particular person said, if your spouse is a perpetual offender, you should what? You should try as much as possible not to continue to defend them, but to stay neutral. So if you want to say something to us on this show, call us on +44 7828 500. Most of the reason why people are saying that we should not defend such spouses if it's a perpetual offender. Do not bother to defend the person, or it's better for you to stay neutral. So if you're on this show and you believe that you have a contrary opinion to what this person said, please remember that you can call us on +44 7828 500 938. So I will appreciate that. Let me read what someone said on Facebook. They said, depending on the matter, for example, if it's a safeguarding matter, you cannot defend such a thing. Okay. I think what that person is trying to say there is some offenses are not defendable. For example, safeguarding matters, I'm sure we know what that means. Maybe like with domestic violence and all. If you keep covering up for the person, it may lead to another thing. So in other words, what people are trying to say here tonight is there is time to speak up, there are times to keep quiet. And if care is not taken, for some people, if you continue to defend them, both of you will be seen as the same thing at one point or the other. I'm telling you, maybe not find ourselves in such situations where the woman or the man is an offender. Let me put it that way. Maybe like a domestic abuse or anything else. I just hope that we will have a clearer understanding of what that says by the grace of God. Okay, let me just play some music while let me play some other music while we wait for people to, if people still want to call in, that's fine. If not, I'll just play a couple of music and then we will call it a day. Ojojumo kolodun, like Yoruba will say. Thank you, Fabulous Funky. She said, you are good for better, for worse. This is part of the worst. You have to still defend and continue to pray and seek counsel. That's coming from someone. She said, even at that, you still have to continue to defend and you have to pray for the better. So what's our take on that, people? If this person is a perpetual offender and maybe, as we say, talking about, I don't know, talking about maybe domestic violence, do you think we should still continue to defend that kind of person? And if you're not going to defend them, how can you go about it? What's the best way to go about it? It's so important that we know what to do in certain situations, because it is so easy. It's so easy to say. It's easier said than done. Okay, let me see if I can just play this music for us in the next 2-3 minutes, and then we'll continue with our conversation. Thank you so much, Fabulous Funky. I really appreciate your contribution this evening. It's so important to us. So, ladies and gentlemen, somebody is saying we should keep on defending no matter what. God will help us. So, and somebody is saying if it is a safeguarding matter, we shouldn't keep quiet. We should talk. Don't keep it to yourself if it's a safeguarding matter. We will not find ourselves in some people, out of all this, I don't want people to know what's going on. They've lost their lives. So, God help us. Let's just hear some music for a couple of minutes. It's a fabulous cookie. Where is everybody else? Hey, our very own MC Mona is all the way worldwide. Give them. If you know this song, you'll be a grandma. If you know this song, you should be a grandma. ò rí jó, kí ló ṣẹlẹ̀? Where is everybody? You are not dancing ni.
Ìyàwó mi tó fẹ́ mi lẹ́nu. Ó mọ inú ìwà tí mo fẹ́. Aya mi àtàlà. Lẹ́yìn tí ò dá.
Máa lọ, màdàrú máa lọ, màdàrú máa lọ,
Màdàlé onílérò.
màdàrú máa lọ, Let me stop the music for a second. I love this music. I love the music so much. How many of us were listening to that music? Look, sometimes bí onígbà bá ṣe pé gbà ẹ̀, òun ni wọ́n máa ṣe máa ń bá gbé o. If you present your spouse as igba kole, people will help you to treat your spouse like that. I think that's what that song is all about. Gbogbo ẹni tó mọ orin yìí, tó mọ orin Màdàrú yìí, tó sọ Mama Toyin. If you know that song very well, then you should be a grandma by now. That song has been around forever. That was when they used to teach lessons, moral lessons with music. Not nowadays. May the Lord have mercy on us. Call on shower. So apparently, we all know the story goes on and on. If we have the time, I will play the rest of the story. But the most important thing is that how can you defend your spouse in front of family members? Are you supposed to drag your spouse in the mud? Are you supposed to make your spouse feel worthless? I know that there are some situations that you cannot protect your spouse from. For example, if it is abusive, if it's getting to a place that is affecting your mental health, you may have to speak out, like what somebody has rightly said. If it's going to affect your mental health, you may have to speak out. But the question now is, even if you want to talk, who is the person you are talking to? Yeah, not grandma, yeah. Funky. If you know this song, then you must have been, well, you probably were, you were still quite young then. I was still very young when this song was first played. Now, let me ask us these questions. If it's gotten to a place where you're worried about your mental health and you want to speak to someone, is there anything wrong in that? Apparently not. There's nothing wrong in that. You may want to let people know the state of mind, but in that situation, you have to watch the kind of person you speak to. For example, I personally, if I call you and I kind of say some things about my spouse to you, depending on the way you answer, that's what will determine whether you will hear another one. Don't go and speak to someone that will add insult to your injury, what you're already passing through. That one will not be a matter of you exposing your spouse or not defending them. If it's going to lead to, because a lot of people have covered up to the point that they've lost their lives or mentally they've lost it. If it is an abusive situation or a situation that can affect your mental health in the negative way, I don't think there's anything wrong. But apart from that, anything else, as everybody has rightly said on this show, please, it will be better for us to defend our spouses, to support them, and to speak good of them. Then relationship as well does matters, definitely. Okay, maybe a spouse that doesn't carry you along, you don't know what he's up to, so sometimes it may be challenging to defend that kind of person. Maybe that's one again that we need to look into. But if the spouse is still about you can defend them. You can support them and make it easy for the other people to let go. Now let's talk about thank you. Chemostic said you must defend, stand up, and protect your spouse always. Oh, I believe that as well, ma. But my question now is, what about if this person is a perpetual abuser, or what the person is doing is not something, it's not new. Maybe you've always defended, you've always tried to cover up, but they continue to do it. How do you go about that? That's the question that because on this conversation we need to balance things up. That is the conversation that we need to have this evening. What about if that person is a perpetual offender? He's always doing it. What's he defend it? What's he protect it? He's still doing it. And you know that the way it's going to affect your own mental health as well. Should you die in silence? Should you die in the way, like you said, depending on the situation. If it's a situation that will be at the detriment of your health, or your mental health, your physical health, or your, I don't think one should continue to, I personally, like I said, I don't think one should continue to defend such person, you know. Then even if at all you want to talk or you want to let people know who this person is, you need to ask yourself, how mature is this person I'm speaking to? How mature is the family member that you're talking to? I have people that I speak to. Thank you, ma. Yeti ID, thank you so much for joining us, ma. I have people that I talk to, if it's getting to hear, because there's some situations that we get to hear, let's be realistic. But you have to check how mature are those people. Are they like the ones that will add petrol to the fire that is already burning? That's one thing that you need to. How mature are the relatives that you? How mature are they to handle it? Some relatives are very, very. Some relatives are very, very. How do I call it? Mature. In fact, they will even help you to make things better. Yeah, somebody said, or if it's going to affect the well-being of the children, we shouldn't, continue to defend. Like Kemostik has said now, he said it depends on the situation. I don't know how many of us heard the story of a man that was doing all sort of things to young children, and the wife continued to protect the person, all in the name of, I have to defend, I have to protect at all costs. There are some very extreme situations that you cannot afford to cover up. If it's going to be at the detriment of other people's health, or your own health, or your mental health, or your physical health, or that of the children, sometimes one might have to speak out. Ufums babes, thank you for joining. Thank you. I did probably miss that person out. Yeah, thank you so much for joining. Thank you, Bukilicious. So, in a situation where what that person is doing is dangerous to your health and that of the children, or that of anybody else, unfortunately, you probably will not be able to defend them at that point. There's a very popular story of someone recently, even in this UK, that was molesting young children, and the wife didn't want to. People were saying the wife was covering up. The wife was even helping him to cover up his what do I call his crimes, So that kind of person, what do you do? God forbid, may we not find ourselves in that kind of situation. We are just saying, some situations may we not find ourselves in that kind of situation. Even that one is an extreme. It's a very extreme case. It could even be to your own. Maybe the person is always abusive, the person is always hurting your feelings, the person is always making you feel horrible. You might have to kind of seek help from people that understand. Please let me know if you agree with that, or if you have a contrary opinion to that, please let me know. Now, another thing is, sometimes the reason why some people men especially, the reason why they don't take charge, or they don't defend their spouse in front of family members, is because they think they will look like a wimp, or they will look like Beudani, as we have said earlier, or they will think they are taking sides. Is there anything wrong in taking sides with your spouse? If anybody says something, as I said, if it's the normal situation and my spouse does something, is there anything wrong in me taking sides with my spouse? If I believe that offense is not as bad as you make it look, or is something that we can work on, so we need to think about all those things. But the most important thing is, in a normal situation, like everybody else has said, you would have to defend your spouse. Now, looking at the cultural part of it, especially in Yoruba land, where we come from, where some people just find it so convenient and comfortable to disrespect wives. There's this thing about us, let's talk about it, where they will disrespect you, they expect you to cook, they expect you to do a lot of things that they would normally, which is, there's nothing wrong, but if it's getting too much, or they just keep on picking offenses, speaking up on you, what you did, everything is always wrong. In that situation, you need the help of your spouse to defend you and to stand up for you. Definitely. If I'm in that situation and my spouse doesn't stand up for me, I will feel like something is wrong somewhere. And of course, the home cannot be peaceful. And then this person also, the clip I played earlier, said you can now tell the person off behind closed doors when it is only the two of you. That's another way that we can do it. Babes, what you did there is wrong. Because I defend you does not mean that you should do it again. Don't you try that again. At least it is both of you. So with that, it will be easier to So it will be easier for that person to even correct themselves. But when the person has already been smashed, disgraced, and you also join the family to disgrace your spouse, whether your husband or your wife, you join the crowd, you join everybody to make them feel like they are nothing. Of course, when you get home, the house will be hot now. The home can never ever be peaceful. You mean you cannot stand up for me? All those things, we need to watch it, and we need to make sure that we work towards it. Remember the story of Mama Tonyo. People sometimes, they are anti-marriage, anti-homes, anti-relationship. They just want trouble. They just want you to keep having trouble, and then we need to watch out for all those things. I just pray that God will help us. Marriage is not something that people should just be putting mouth anytime, any day. Let it be known. Let people know that they will not be comfortable telling your bride off in front of you or your husband off in front of you. Now, I witnessed a situation some time ago about someone who is a relative of mine. Back in Nigeria then, they used to insist that I don't know whether they still do it now, that the wives should be the one cooking whenever there is any ceremony or festive season. They call it Yawole. And the woman was doing her bit. Then this auntie just came from nowhere. You're not doing it right. You're so slow. You're so this. The woman will try to carry. Say, no, you don't know how to carry. The woman was just all over this particular lady. You know what the husband did? He did not argue with them. He did not say, why are you telling my wife off in front of everybody? He did not say, why are you shouting on my wife? He did not complain about anything. Because I remember then they had a baby. The woman just came from upstairs and saw the crowd of, everybody watching as this auntie was just, talking to the wife anyhow. I don't care what my wife has done wrong. The woman just said, well, you know what, let's go. Held his wife, and they went in the car. And that was the end. They didn't come back to that ceremony for that day. And after that, nobody messed with the woman. Because that man had just left a message that, look, next time you try that with my wife, you won't see me in your occasions. Sometimes we can do that. You don't have to until you fight. That man could have come down and said, auntie, Master, I won't be here, kill me. He didn't say anything, no. I will never forget that situation. I remember that vividly. He just picked his wife, picked their baby, and said goodbye to the entire family. That was the end of them attending that ceremony. And they were like, hey, Boloda, what happened? He didn't say a word. He just took his wife and walked away from that scenario. To me, I think that's another way that one can handle it. If you know that the person that is talking is not someone you yourself can confront. For example, this person I'm talking about is a bigger auntie to this particular man. He's a bigger auntie. So the man may not want to disrespect. Nigeria, everything is disrespect. Just took his wife, but thank you, Makemosip. Wanting some in-laws intentionally provoke wives in the family. Yeah, it's very common in Yoruba land though. I don't know much about other tribes, but Yoruba land, I know. And this nonsense idea of pé ìyàwó kan tó jẹ́ ìyàwó lé ó gbọ́dọ̀ kó gbẹ̀, ó gbọ́dọ̀ kó tọ̀, ó gbọ́dọ̀ ṣègbà, ó gbọ́dọ̀ ṣàwó. Particularly, I don't like it. I won't do it to anybody, so I don't expect anybody to do it to me. They will intentionally provoke the wife, and then when the woman talks, they will say the woman is rude. It's very common. And when the man even try to defend the woman, they will say it's Bewudani, how to refer for the whatever they will call them names. Kamosik also said, now that's what we are talking about, defending and standing up for your spouse. Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much. In that situation is what she's talking about. At that point, you need to stand up and defend your spouse. If it is in a situation where you cannot face the person in question, maybe like if your dad or your mom or your big auntie or uncle, that you don't want them to look like you're rude, tó bá jẹ́ pọ̀ tó máa kà sí èébú pé nítorí ìyàwó ẹ̀ ó wá ń bú wa ò gbó wa lẹ́nu ó ti sọ ẹ̀fọ́ fún ẹ. Like the example I just cited now, the man just took his wife, ó kàn ní ẹ̀mọ́ ó dàbọ̀ sá ó dàbọ̀ mà madam bọ́ sínú mọ́tò fún mi jẹ́ àlọ́ ṣé kò sí níbo lẹ̀ ń lọ kí ló ṣẹlẹ̀ ẹ ti mọ nǹkan tó ṣẹlẹ̀ wọ́n ń wáyàwó mi lẹ̀ wọ́n ń pa wọlé ìyàwó mi lórí láàrin gbogbo èrò tá a wálé ọdún kí ló ṣẹlẹ̀ kí ìyàwó mi ò bá ṣe fún yín tẹ̀lé lọ́ra báwí tẹ̀ ń pa wọlé lórí láàrin gbogbo èrò mi ìdẹ fẹ́ job lọ́ra mú ìyàwó mi lọ́ra lọ. I think that's it. With me, that one, I had it to my left hand ever since then. If it is happening to my husband as well, I'll just say, babes, let's go. can we just go? We'll just leave. We will leave them, then they will get the message, you know. And like your Baba said, it's example, that's another example, you know. And we said if the woman is the one that is wrong, if the your spouse is the one that is wrong as well, you can still do the same thing. Babe, jekarira, you know. And when you say that, at least at the back, don't do that in front of everybody. You can also correct them in private. Sumba Labi say the family internationally be nasty to the wife, intentionally be nasty to the wife. It is common with Yoruba people. Máa gbé ilẹ̀ ìwé máa fọ́kọ́ ìwé máa mọ̀ bí àwọn Igbo náà ṣe ń ṣe nìyẹn o. Èmi náà mọ̀ nípa Yorùbá but mi mọ̀ nípa other tribes. Yes, thank you, Fabulous Funky. Thank you so much. She said that's a very brilliant way to deal with that sort of situation. Yeah, I actually learned from that and I head to my left hand. If I'm somewhere, my family member, I think that sometimes it is when you be presenting the woman or the man. Àwọn kan wà tẹ́ pé wọ́n mọ̀ ìpè lágbájá yẹn má try láti fìyàwó ẹ̀ wọlé kò ní gbà fún yín. Wọ́n ti mọ̀. Ó ní láti fẹnu sọ fún wọn bóyá ìwọ náà máa ń fọkọ ẹ̀ wọlé máa ń fìyàwó ẹ̀ wọlé tẹ́lẹ̀tẹ́lẹ̀ ìyẹn náà lè fà á. Yeti IG says that's the best way to deal with such situation. Yes, ma. It's a very good way to deal with it. And also remember the proverb that says bí onígbà bá ṣe pé gbá ẹ̀ òun náà máa ṣe bá gbé. How do you present your spouse to your family? Bóyá wọ́n sọ̀rọ̀ ìyàwó ẹ̀ ń sìn pé ìyàwó bọ̀dá mi lágbájá ìyàwó ìyàwó àbúrò wa yìí ọ̀lẹ́ni tí ìmọ̀ tẹ́ bá délé báyìí gbogbo òkè ló rùn gbogbo ìsàlẹ̀ ló rùn. You too, yeah, I know you meant intentionally ma. You too, just wò gbogbo na pí ọmọ lánàá ó sì wà lábẹ́ ibi tó wà dọ́là kò tí fọ̀. Excuse me, once you do that then kò ní níyì lójú wọn. Now don't get me wrong, there are times that there are some situations that are not on that line. Maybe because I won't lie to you, some things are not easy. If you want to talk to any family member about it, make sure it is someone that is mature. I have someone that if my husband does anything that I cannot handle, that I will talk to, but there has never been a time that I speak to this person who might calm me down. So I go to this person for calmness. You know, I'll call this person and she's always calming me. Like my family member is always saying, no, I can tell you say, calm down, don't handle things like that. If you go and tell somebody about your husband and the first thing they say, surely I body have funny, you know, be careful, don't go back to that kind of person. They're going to destroy your home. Fabulous Funky says we as older women can also intervene in case in such a situation and the husband is not there now to allow the young wife to go through those terrible situations. God bless you. Now we are older, we've been married for quite a while. Some of us, like I just had 28 years anniversary recently, some of us 15, some of us 10, some 7. What are you doing to the younger wives, your own brother's wife, your brother's wife? How are you handling them? Are you doing the same thing to your own brother's wives, your siblings' wife, your siblings' husband, or your call those languages? Are you like that? Or are you part of people that gang up against your siblings' wives? Thank you so much, Fabulous Funky, for bringing that up. It's so important. Yeah, our day family house, our ma dictate fáwọn ìyàwó ilé. Lọ fọbọ́, lọ gbégbá, lọ gbáwò. Ẹlòmíì gan ilé mo sún ni kò nílé ọkọ tiẹ̀ dúró sí. Àwa sílé bàbá ẹ̀, àwa máa control gbogbo ìyàwó ilé. What are you doing? Sometimes it could be a situation of what you sow, you will reap. Sometimes it's the way you treat other people is the way you will be treated out there. Let's talk about all these things. Let's think about it. Let's be careful. Let's defend our spouse as much as we can in situations that are, except if it is extreme, which we don't pray that we find ourselves in. If it's an extreme situation, well, maybe it's abusive or dangerous or could be to the detriment of somebody's mental or physical, health. One can, you may not be able to defend, but as much as you can, defend your spouse. No matter if it's your spouse, maybe just jokingly or something like that. Sometimes I will say to my husband, it's a different thing. It's not about you. How many easy. I know it's not easy, if you're finding it, but let us learn. I pray that God will help us in Jesus' name. Àsìkò yóò kí n gbà wá láyé púpọ̀ ní gbogbo ìgbà. Yes, like I once said, there are plenty of them, controllers, all these big aunties. Àgàgà tó bá ti ní change díẹ̀ ju bí àwọn ọ̀wọ́n gbé lẹ́kọ̀ọ́, àwọn gbé ń Kòòdù, èyí ń gbé ń Jẹ̀bú, they will just come and be dictating, controlling everybody, scattering everywhere, telling all the ìyàwó lé ìwọ Bobby, ìwọ no. Ayé ti lajú ju gbogbo yẹn lọ. That thing I don't like it, I can't stand it. Don't say àwọn mọ́mì ìlú òyìnbó, àwọn mọ́mì London ti dé, so àwọn ti lé yẹn wọn kì í ṣèyàn, àwọn ọmọ wọn kì í ṣèyàn, àwọn ìyàwó yẹn ò ṣèyàn. No. This day and age kò yẹ kó rí bẹ́ẹ̀. Or you are just 1 year older. Somebody said I defend myself, I beg. Well, sometimes you may have to stand up for yourself. And most of the time, when a woman have to stand up for themselves, it is because the spouse does not defend them. So don't ever put your spouse in a situation that he will have to be the one defending themselves. Níwájú àwọn family mi o, ọkọ mi ò lè ever lọ dùn ló máa defend rẹ̀, èmi máa defend ọkọ mi. And I expect my husband to do the same. Defend me in front of your family, and let me defend you in front of my own family, because you are the child. Easy for maneuver away, work. I just pray that God will help us. This thing is very, very, it's so crucial. A lot of women are suffering in silence. I spoke to a woman when I sent this thing. A woman called me. She was in tears. Everybody come on, someone whoever defend will go to join. No shell. It shouldn't be like that. God help us. Somebody said me that I do wash my baby brother's wife's clothes. You see, it is just the level of it is the relationship, the closeness, how close you are. Because we joke, we do everything, we crack jokes together. There's some mommy Londons that their brothers' wives. Toba de by gbogbo ilé mama gbóná ni mommy ti dé, mommy Èkó ti dé, mommy London ti dé, gbogbo ilé gbogbo mommy America kí ló ṣẹlẹ̀. Let's just take it easy. Àwọn náà lọ́mọbìnrin, whatever we sow we will reap. Kọ́lọ́run kó jọ kó ṣàánú fún wa. Thank you so much, everybody. It's been a very subtle, quiet and lovely episode, honestly speaking, and I'm hoping, I believe that somebody somewhere has gained or learned something on this particular episode. I particularly have learned something from what people have contributed, and I want to appreciate everybody, because if I come to this show today and I don't have any response online, it will be, I'll just be here by myself. Luxury Life Jewelries, thank you so much. Fabulous Funky, thank you. Yeti ID, thank you so much. Moron KG, thank you for joining. MC Moonlight, thank you for joining. Dewey's Creation, thank you so much. Olatide Okeyemi, Bookilicious. In fact, Timothy, Boosie 27, Sumbostic, Bayasha B, Christiana Cares, thank you. Ìyàwó Babatia, thank you so much for joining. Florence Jumokeda, thank you for joining. Sumba Alabi, please, if I skip your name, to report to school, that's okay. There's so many fantastic people on the show tonight. Thank you for always coming here every week to encourage me, to support me. I love this. I love what I'm doing. I have passion for it. If I have my way, honestly, I want to go to every home and make sure that everybody is doing well in their homes. Marriage to me is something that we shouldn't take with levity. I don't believe in all these people that go about saying marriage is a scam. I can understand if it doesn't work for you, but it doesn't make marriage a scam. Marriage can work. We can make it work. And these are the little topics that we bring up here to come and learn from every week, so that at least we take something home to add another honey to our honeymoon. The Lord will bless all of you. Thank you for coming. Àwọn tí wọ́n dáṣẹ́ tó tí wọ́n bá wa share, àwọn tí wọ́n ṣagbátẹrù ètò yìí, iléeṣẹ́ Colors Jewels and Laces, ẹ ṣeun ẹkú gbogbo gbà, iléeṣẹ́ Lizel Fabrics all the way from Dallas, Texas, thank you so much. Iléeṣẹ́ First Rate Global tí wọ́n bá yàn kọ́lé, tí wọ́n bá yàn ralẹ̀, ní Ṣàgámù lógùn state ní Rẹ́mọ. Thank you so much. Thank you Celebration International Magazine, we really do appreciate you. Thank you everybody. Mo tún wá fi àsìkò yìí sọ fún gbogbo wa wípé èmi Olúwabùnmi aya Òṣìbẹ̀rù mo máa sọ ní ọ̀sẹ̀ wípé lílọ ni mo tún ti ń lọ yìí. Mo gbàládùra wípé bí mo ṣe ń lọ yìí o, ogun ó lọ kò dé kò ní dé bá mi, ogun ó dé kò bá wọn kò ní jẹ́ tiyín lórúkọ Jésù. Àlàáfíà, ayọ̀, ìdùnnú tí mo máa fi yín sí lénìí, òun náà ni màá tún padà wá bá yín nígbà tí mo bá padà wá sórí ètò yìí láìpẹ́ láì jìnà. Ẹ ṣeun. Wọ́n fàsìkò yìí sọ fún wa wípé láyọ̀ la máa pàdé o, mo ní láyọ̀ la máa pàdé o. Ẹ̀yin ò ní forígun, èmi ò ní fẹsẹ̀ kọ o. Mọ́tò yòówù ká lè wọ̀ kó ní forí sí.
I use remedy for fasting.
Láyọ̀ la ó máa. Láyọ̀ la ó máa pàdé. Láyọ̀ la ó máa pàdé o. Thank you so much, my people. I really do appreciate you. See you next week by the special grace of God. Bye. God bless you.
Àsìkò ti tó, ètò ìbùkún.
Thank you.
Ẹ̀sán traditional wedding. Gbogbo olólùfẹ́ rẹ̀ ń retí rẹ̀ èyí. Ẹ̀sán traditional wedding. Ẹ̀bùn lóríṣiríṣi mẹ́lẹ̀ kì í ṣèwé. Ẹ̀sán traditional wedding. Kí lorúkọ ètò náà? Ẹ̀sán traditional wedding. Ètò ìgbéyàwó tó ń tọ́ni lọ́gbọ́n. Ẹ̀sán traditional wedding. Yẹ́tí gbọ́. Ètò lẹ́sọ̀ traditional wedding ó lọ lọ́wọ́. Kí lorúkọ ètò náà? Ẹ̀sán traditional wedding. Ètò ìgbéyàwó tó ń kọ́ni lọ́gbọ́n. Ẹ̀sán traditional wedding. Every Tuesday on Instagram. Every Tuesday on Facebook. 6 p.m. UK time. Every Tuesday on Facebook. Ètò ìgbéyàwó tó fún ni lóye. Ẹ̀sán traditional wedding. Ètò ìgbéyàwó tó fún ni lóye. Ẹ̀sán
Traditional wedding. Thank you so much, everybody. See you next week by the special grace of God. Bye.